Okay, so I want to tell a little story about this woman I used to know named Fran. Fran DeLisa. If you've heard my other story, The Casket, you know a little bit about her. But Fran was the owner of this pizza place in Deer Park, North Babylon, near me, called DeLisa. Those of you who don't know, I worked there on and off doing deliveries for 10 years. And it was maybe my favorite job I've ever had. That or Albert's Pizza. And, I made good money there. And I just otherwise loved working there. I loved all the people. Even Fran, who, man, you want to talk about a legend? Everyone who's lived in Deer Park or North Babylon for about the last 50 years knows who she is. And everybody's got at least one Fran story. Again, had the casket story, and I'm about to tell you another one right now, obviously. So, going back forever, Delisa, Fran, her husband, Delisa, they've had a reputation of being kind of racist. Like, they had a lot of Hispanics that work there, but I've never seen a black person working there. They have almost no black customers. And if you're wondering why, yeah, you haven't been there long enough. This is basically the only pizzeria in this area that wouldn't deliver to Wyandanch. The excuse being that they worried about their driver's safety and they didn't want them to get robbed. But I made 1 million deliveries to Wyandanch. I drove a taxi there. No one robbed me. No one gave me any problems. So it was just because they were racist and they didn't want to deliver to black people. And like when black people would come in the store, they'd kind of look at them suspiciously like they were criminals. Doesn't really make them want to come back. Like this one night where I was doing deliveries. It's the end of the night where it's time to pay them their share. Because, yeah, they'll total you up. They'll say, okay, you owe us $257 from the deliveries. And you pay them that. And you go home. So I got my cash out. I'm counting it. And I'm about to hand it to Fran. But we're still open, right? The oven's still on. We're still serving food for the moment. And this black kid walks in. It's like a teenager, maybe 18, 19. And he's got a hoodie pulled over his head. But otherwise, there was nothing suspicious about him. Like, he's just a kid with a hoodie on, whatever. And as soon as he comes in, Fran starts, like, suspiciously eyeing him, looking at him like he's going to rob the place. And she would act like these black people didn't notice this, like they're blind or they're dumb or something. Of course they fucking notice. Because they're used to this shit. Like, they're used to being racially profiled when they go in a store. A security guard kind of follows them around. And now she's doing it. And the kid's kind of looking at her like, what the fuck's this lady looking at? What? I'm just here for some pizza. Like, I'm not going to rob them. What the fuck? Like, and then as I'm counting the money, she's looking at the black kid, then looks at me, then looks at the money, then looks at him, me, the money. Does this like several times. And at this point, he's just starting to look a little like insulted and pissed off. And like, okay, I'm already never coming back here again. Like, give me my pizza so I can like, yeah. And then she looks at me and goes, David, when you go outside to give the guy the money, blah, 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 blah. Like, she's trying to make a cover story as to why I have cash so the kid doesn't decide to rob me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like when I walked outside with my take, whatever was left over, the kid would think that like there was another person involved. So I wasn't out there alone. And he's like, what a fucking bitch, yo. You racist fucking bitch. Yeah, I'm out of here, yo. Fuck this place. And but she's just acting like it's totally normal. Yeah, like I said, this is basically how they treat black people. at Delisa. One of the greatest places ever, but the racist as fuck. Yeah. So that was my little story. Another story about the great Fran Delisa and Delisa Pizza. Now, it's probably my favorite pizza place of all time, but they just really don't like black people and think they're all criminals. What a time. What a fucking time.